This video is sponsored by Cohen Financial. More on them later.
Do you think it helps to have a famous neighbor when you're trying to sell your mega mansion? In today's episode, we're going to review this gorgeous property in Holmby Hills, north of Sunset. It's got 7 bedrooms, 13 bathrooms, over 14,259 square foot of living space, and it's listed for close to $40 million, and that makes it about $2,805 a square foot, and it's over on an acre of land. All right, so if you're new to the channel, let me explain. I tell you guys first 3 things I like about it, and then 3 things I don't like about it, and then how I would have marketed it differently, okay? So let's get started. 3 things I really like about this property. Number 3, exterior architectural style. I love this old timeless classics. They've already aged. They're like fine wine. You know, they've found their marketplace. They're steady. They're desirable. And what makes this one even more special is that it's an original Paul Williams, which is fantastic because he's a name architect in Los Angeles. And he's created some of the most beautiful masterpieces out there. So that's a huge positive for me. Number 2, finishes. Look, these are bespoke, really high-end finishes. They're inspired by Art Deco glamour. It might not be your favorite or in the modern way, but this is what the buyer pool in this demographic would desire. It resonates with them. I think they've spent a ton of money making these moldings and the finishes just perfect the way a typical buyer for Holmby Hills would desire it. Now, the number 1 thing I absolutely love about this property is lot utilization. Beautiful driveway, a massive frontage, side setbacks are huge, backyard, you got a tennis court which utilizes the lower elevation of the lot perfectly, and then you got the swimming pool tucked away. On this side you get the morning sun, afternoon sun, noon sun. It's beautiful, and then you get plenty of grass, right? I can't think of any other way placing this house on this lot to utilize this lot better. It gets a lot of privacy from the neighbors. It's just fantastic. Now, before I tell you 3 things I don't like about it, you should know that I like to work with Mark Cohen when I get a loan for myself or for any of my clients. Why? Because he tells me right away what type of loans are available for the product I'm looking for. And if he doesn't have the best rate, he introduces me to someone who does. You can't ask more for that. Here's his phone number. Give him a call and tell him Arvin sent you. Now, 3 things I don't like about this property. Look, there's no wow factor when you walk in. You're spending $40 million. You want to be wowed when you open that door. You have a small foyer that leads to other rooms, and you just don't have that bang for the buck. I really believe, regardless of the age of the property, it's really good to have that wow factor in the first 3 seconds when you open the door. And this property just doesn't deliver in that area, right? Now, the second thing I really don't like about this house is the volumes and ceiling heights. If you pay attention, this is a 1936 original, right? So the ceiling heights are not that high. And even worse, the volume of the rooms, the dimensions are a little tight. And that is a negative for a $40 million purchase because the newer constructions are really delivering at the highest standards in that department. Now, the number 1 thing I don't like about this property, by the way, if you're wondering how I know this stuff, I'm 𝐷𝐷𝐷𝐷. I'm a real estate agent by day in Beverly Hills. I specialize in luxury and ultra luxury, and I'm a consultant at nighttime. You don't have to live in LA to work with me. You can reach out, book a consulting call. I can help you find the right real estate agent. I can guide you through the process and help you out, right? Okay, the number 1 thing I don't like about this property is the fact that it's on Sunset. This is a huge negative. Sunset is an east-west artery that connects the city, and there's a lot of traffic and the cars travel very fast on it. It makes a lot of noise, and it's a big sacrifice for $40 million that you would have to pay to still deal with this element of noise, and that is a huge negative. But on the positive side, you have Kylie Jenner on the other side. If you think that is a positive, she might ask her business manager to tell her assistant, to tell their maid to bring you some cookies when you move in. Okay, so how would I have marketed this property differently? Look, I think the photography is beautiful. It really captures the energy of the house, the details. It's really done well. However, this property really never made that much noise when it came on the market. And considering it's been on the market for 630 days, I really feel like it's been kind of, flying under the radar. And that is a negative, right? And you should also know that the property was first listed for $48 million. And then it got reduced to $44 million. And now it's listed for $39.99, right? And now you're thinking, why hasn't it sold, right? I believe it has to do with the fact that Kylie Jenner, the house right next door, completely overpaid for their property. And it might cloud the judgment of the agents there or the owners. Why? Because that was a completely different property and Kylie completely overpaid for that $36 million, right? And you also have to encompass a huge discount for being on Sunset. Let me give you another example. Why would anyone pay $40 million for this house when they can go to Lower Bel Air, a comparable location to Holmby Hills, and get 626 Sienna? You get a smaller house, but you get double-sized a lot. Architecturally, they're very similar. And instead of dealing with the noise of Sunset, you get beautiful views of the city and the golf course. Now, if you've watched to this part, I ask you to like and subscribe. And you should also know that the content of this video is purely my personal opinion, and real estate analysis is subjective in nature. Tell me in the comments below if you agree with my strategy or if you think there's other reasons why this property hasn't sold. I would love to hear that. And thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video.